The war had changed Captain Ryan. Once a proud soldier, now just a man following orders in the dark corners of space. He had seen many things, lost friends, destroyed planets, and broken lives. But today, something felt different. The mission was simple. His team attacked a small enemy base on planet Torvac 9. They were looking for intel, weapons, anything useful. Most of the enemy soldiers had escaped or been killed. The place was quiet, almost too quiet. Ryan walked through the dark corridors of the base, his gun ready. His boots made soft echoes on the metal floor. Suddenly, he heard something. A soft sound like breathing. He turned a corner and found a small room. The lights were dim. Inside, he saw her. An alien woman sat on the floor. Her hands were chained to the wall. Her skin was a soft silver blue, glowing slightly. Her eyes were large and bright purple. Her clothes were torn, her face calm. Too calm. Ryan paused. She didn't look scared. She didn't cry or ask for help. She just looked at him. "You okay?" Ryan asked, lowering his weapon. She didn't speak, just watched him. He stepped closer, looked at the chains. They were strong, made for holding powerful beings. Someone really didn't want her to leave. "I'm getting you out of here," he said. Still, she said nothing. Ryan used his plasma cutter and broke the chains. As the metal fell to the floor, she slowly stood up. Tall, graceful, quiet. There were no wounds on her, no signs of torture. She looked healthy. That's strange, Ryan thought. Most prisoners are weak, broken, but she looked strong, almost ready for something. "Come on," he said, guiding her out of the room. As they walked through the hallway, she followed him without question. Not once did she look back. Ryan's team was waiting at the ship. They looked surprised when they saw her. "Who's that?" one soldier asked. "Found her locked up." "I think she was a slave," Ryan answered. The woman didn't react. She just stood still, watching the ship like she had seen it before. Inside the ship, Ryan gave her a blanket and some food. She didn't eat. She didn't speak. Ryan sat across from her. "You're safe now. They can't hurt you anymore." Finally, she spoke. Her voice was soft but clear. "You think you saved me?" Ryan blinked. "I did." She tilted her head, almost like a machine analyzing him. "You made a mistake." Those words hit him like a punch. "What do you mean?" She didn't answer. She looked out the window, watching the stars. Ryan left the room, confused. Something was wrong, very wrong. Hours passed. The ship moved toward the nearest Alliance base. Ryan sat in the control room, staring at her image on the screen. She hadn't moved, just sat there, still as stone. "Computer," he said, "scan the passenger we picked up." The scan came back. Species unknown, hybrid threat level. High powers blocked by unknown tech status, unstable. Ryan stared at the screen. Powers? Threat level high? Was she really a slave? He went back to the room. She looked up at him, calm as ever. "Who are you?" he asked. She smiled, just a little. "Not your enemy, but not your friend." Ryan felt a chill in his chest. What had he done? Before he could ask more, the ship lights turned red. Alarm rang out. Warning, unknown signal detected. Ship has been tracked. Ryan jumped to the control room. The screen showed 2 ships behind them, fast and armed. They were being hunted. He looked at her again. She didn't look surprised. She looked ready. Strange companion, the red lights stopped flashing, but the tension stayed in the air. Ryan stood at the ship's control panel, staring at the radar. 2 unknown ships had followed them through half a star system. And then suddenly they vanished. "How is that possible?" Ryan muttered. Behind him, soft footsteps echoed. He didn't turn. He knew it was her. "You brought them here," he said. She stood quietly, then replied, "No, they were always following. You just couldn't see them before. Ryan turned now, anger rising in his voice. Who are you, really? What were you doing locked in that base? She didn't blink. I was waiting. Waiting for what? She looked out the window again, her voice calm. For someone to open the door. Ryan didn't know what to say. His instincts told him to lock her up, or worse. But a strange part of him wanted to understand her. They flew in silence for hours. Ryan kept checking the radar. No ships. No signal. Just quiet. But she, Lyra, never rested. She walked through the ship like she had lived there for years. Every hallway, every door, she seemed to already know where everything was. Once Ryan saw her standing in front of the engine room, her hand on the wall, like she could feel the machine breathing. You've been on a ship like this before? He asked. She didn't look at him. Many. Ryan narrowed his eyes. So you weren't a prisoner? She smiled again. That same small, knowing smile. Depends on who you ask. Later, while Ryan slept in the pilot chair, he woke up to the sound of systems activating. He rushed to the main deck. She was there, standing at the console, her fingers moving fast. Too fast. What are you doing? He shouted. She didn't. Stop. Saving us. The ship jolted. Stars outside stretched into lines as they jumped into hyperspeed. Ryan grabbed the side rail to steady himself. How did you do that? He demanded. She finally looked at him. Your ship has systems you've never unlocked. Your people don't even know what they've stolen. Ryan stared at her. How do you know? She walked past him, soft and silent like a ghost. Because my people built it. Hours later, Ryan sat alone in the control room, watching old war logs, files from the base where he found her. One video showed her, walking through the enemy base without chains, speaking with officers, not as a prisoner, but as a guest. Another file had no sound. It showed her standing before a black door, marked with a strange glowing symbol. She raised her hand, and the door opened by itself. The same symbol was now flashing on Ryan's ship engine. He leaned back, heart pounding. She had never been a prisoner. She had let herself be taken, and he had helped her escape. In the lower deck, Lyra stood in front of the locked cargo hold. She whispered something in her language, and the door opened. Inside was a sphere, small, metal, with glowing lines all over it. She picked it up gently. You are almost awake, she whispered to it. Later, Ryan confronted her again. What is that thing in the cargo bay? He asked. She didn't answer. He stepped forward. I deserve to know. You're using me, aren't you? She looked at him for the first time with something close to sadness. You were the only one who would help me without asking why. He frowned. And that makes me your fool? No, she said softly. That makes you human. She placed the sphere on the table. It began to hum. Ryan stepped back, hand on his weapon. What is it? He asked. Lyra looked at the sphere. It's the key to a machine buried before your kind learned to walk. What kind of machine? One that can rewrite planets. One that can bring peace now or war. Ryan felt his blood go cold. And what do you want with it? She met his eyes. I want to finish what my people started. What was that? Her voice dropped to a whisper. To end all kings. Suddenly the ship shook. Incoming signal, the computer said. Multiple ships approaching. Ryan looked at the radar. Not enemy ships. Alliance ships. His own people. How did they find us? He asked. Lyra's eyes turned sharp. You told them, didn't you? Ryan was silent. He had sent a signal, earlier asking for backup. They think I've been kidnapped. Ryan said. They'll shoot first. She warned. They won't ask questions. He looked at her, then at the sphere, then back at the ships coming closer. He had a choice. Turn her in or trust her. The Alliance ships arrived faster than expected. 4 in total, sleek, gray, built for war, not for rescue. Captain Ryan stood frozen in the control room. Alarms buzzed quietly. Red lights blinked across the screen. They locked on. Us, he whispered. Behind him, Lyra stood still. Calm, but not surprised. What are they doing? Ryan asked, checking the radar. Targeting engines, she replied softly. But they think I'm on board. They don't care. Outside the ship, the Alliance sent a transmission. This is Captain Rowell of Alliance Vessel Valor. Surrender your ship. Shut down your engines. Prepare for boarding. Ryan stared at the message. He knew Rowell. They'd trained together years ago. But the voice in the message was cold, mechanical. No sign of friendship. Ryan opened a channel. This is Captain Ryan. I'm alive. Don't fire. Pause. We received your signal. The reply came. We tracked the unknown passenger. She's classified as high threat. Hand her over. Ryan looked at Lyra. They're going to kill you. No, she said. They're going to use me. Ryan didn't understand. Why would they? Because they think I'm the weapon, not what I carry. She turned the sphere in her hand. It began to glow, softly at first, then brighter. The Alliance ships moved closer. Drones launched from their sides, flying toward Ryan's ship. They're boarding, Ryan said. We have to run. You don't have time, Lyra replied. Then, what do we do? She placed the sphere on the control panel. Lines of blue light spread across the dashboard. What the hell are you doing? Unlocking the ship. The ship began to shake. Systems came online that Ryan had never seen before. New weapons, new shields, hidden tech buried deep within the design. This isn't an Alliance ship, is it? He asked. It was stolen, she said. Rebuilt. Just like you. Ryan didn't have time to ask what she meant. The ship launched forward, faster than before, faster than any ship Ryan had ever flown. Stars became streaks. The universe stretched. They were running now, but not just from the Alliance. Where are we going? Ryan asked, breathless. Lyra entered coordinates. To the edge of the Calyx void. There's something hidden there. More weapons? No, she said. Truth. The chase didn't end. The Alliance ships followed. Someone had upgraded. Their drives too. One ship stayed close, too close. Suddenly the lights flickered. They're trying to hack us, Ryan said. Lyra didn't flinch. She walked to the back wall of the cockpit and pressed her palm against a hidden panel. A door opened. Behind it, a chair. Not human-made. Floating, glowing, like it was alive. What is that? The only way to survive, she said. She sat down. The moment her body touched the seat, energy flowed through the ship. The engines roared, systems surged. This ship listens to me, she whispered. Because it was meant for me. The enemy ship fired. A beam of light shot toward them. Hot, fast, deadly, Ryan yelled. But the ship didn't take the hit. Instead, the beam bent, curved around them, like the ship bent space itself to protect them. How? Ryan asked. Lyra opened her eyes. They glowed white. Because this ship is not flying in space, it's rewriting it. Minutes later, the Alliance ships fell behind, unable to follow. The jump ended. They dropped out near a dark place in space. The Calyx void. No stars, no light, only a dead black field where ships went to disappear. Ryan looked at the screen. What, now? Lyra stood. She looked weaker now. The chair had drained her. There's something here, she said, buried under the silence. The ship scanned the area. Nothing. No signals. No stations. Just emptiness. Then the sphere beeped. It's waking up, Lyra said. What is it really? She held it in her hands like it was alive. It's not a weapon. Not like they think. It's a key. A key to what? She looked into the dark screen. A prison. Ryan stared at her. Who's inside? Lyra whispered one word. Me. Secrets. of the past space around them was dead. No stars, no sounds, just an endless black field. The calyx void was like a place outside of time, forgotten by maps, ignored by the universe. But not by her. Lyra stood at the window, staring into the darkness like she was waiting for something to return. Rion sat beside the control panel, watching her. "You said it's a prison," he said. "Who put you there?" She didn't answer right away. Her voice came soft like a memory rising from deep inside her. "My own kind." Ryan blinked. "You mean other aliens like you?" She shook her head. "Not aliens. Not anymore. We were something else." The ship drifted silently. Lyra placed the glowing sphere on the floor. Small lights projected from it, drawing a shape in the air. A spinning world surrounded by rings. A planet. Not in any current system. "This is where we began," she said. "Our origin." Ryan stared at the hologram. "This planet isn't in any records." "It was erased," Lyra replied, "after what we did." She sat on the cold metal floor. Her voice changed, deeper, slower. "Long ago we were like you, curious, growing, making machines. But then we found something, deep under our oceans, an energy, not from this universe." Ryan listened, leaning forward. "It gave us power. It changed us. We became fast, strong, smart. Our bodies lived for centuries. Our minds could move things without touching them. We became gods to others." "What happened?" he asked. "We stopped dying." Ryan felt a chill. "So you became immortal?" "Yes," she said. "But we forgot pain. We forgot weakness. And when you forget weakness, you forget mercy." The sphere glowed brighter, showing images now. Tall beings in shining armor, cities floating in space, smaller species kneeling before them. "We ruled for too long," Lyra said, "until the ones we ruled began to resist. We didn't understand fear anymore. We crushed them." Ryan stared. "You were conquerors." Lyra nodded slowly. "Not all of us. Some remembered what we were before. They saw what we were becoming. They tried to stop it. Did they succeed?" Her eyes darkened. "They built a weapon, not to kill us, but to trap us. They built a prison outside of time." Ryan whispered, "This place." "Yes," she said. "The calyx void." The images faded. "They tricked us," Lyra continued. "Told us it was a peace conference. And then they locked us here, not with walls, but with silence. Time doesn't move the same here." "How long have you been inside?" Ryan asked. She looked at him. "1,000 of your years." Ryan stood, his hands clenched. "You said you needed someone to open the door. Someone who would help you without question. Was that me?" "Yes." "So all this time you were planning to escape?" "I was never free," she said. "Not fully. The chains on my hands weren't real, but the chains in time were." He stepped back, feeling betrayed. "You lied to me." "I never told you anything," she said softly. "Because you never asked." A deep rumble echoed through the ship. The lights flickered. Outside the window, something stirred in the void, like the darkness itself was moving. "What is that?" Ryan asked. "The lock is breaking," Lyra said. "The sphere is the final key." "What happens when it breaks?" She looked at him. "Others will wake." Ryan's heart raced. "Others like you?" "Some better. Some worse. And some hungry." Suddenly, a strange voice came through the ship's system. It was not Alliance, not any known language. It was old, cold, and heavy. The sphere glowed bright red. "They know I'm awake," Lyra said. "They are calling me back." Ryan drew his weapon. "Then we stop this. We shut it down." "It's too late," she replied. "You lied, used me, and now you've brought back something you can't control." Lyra stepped toward him. "I didn't choose you because you were loyal," she said. I chose you because you question everything. And you still followed me. Was that your test? No, she said. That was your truth. The ship began to shake. Outside, massive cracks of purple lightning tore through space, and from the shadows, something moved. Not a ship, not a planet, a structure, older than language, floating toward them. It looked like a temple made from bones and stars. What is that? Ryan asked, breathless. Lyra whispered. The gate. Hidden agenda. The gate floated in front of them, silent, massive, impossible. It looked alive, yet dead, ancient, yet awake. Like it had been waiting forever for someone to return. Ryan had never seen anything like it. No metal, no engines, no lights, just bones and stars, woven together in a shape that made his eyes ache if he stared too long. The ship slowed as if pulled by gravity that didn't exist. Lyra stood perfectly still, the glowing sphere in her hands now turning dark, purple. Ryan gripped the edge of the console. What is that thing really? She didn't answer. He turned to her. You said it's a gate, a prison. But that's not all, is it? She looked at him with eyes that no longer seemed fully human. It's also a mirror. The ship landed on a narrow platform that extended from the gate's surface. There was no welcome, no defenses. Just quiet, like something already knew who they were. Ryan loaded his weapon. He didn't trust this place. He didn't trust her anymore either. Are you going to tell me the rest of the truth now? He asked. Lyra didn't stop walking. You won't like it. Try me. They stepped through an archway. As soon as they passed under it, the world changed. The stars vanished. The platform beneath them glowed. Not with lights, but with memories. Suddenly, Ryan saw flashes. Not with his eyes, inside his mind. Armies of light. Burning cities. Gods in silver armor crushing rebellions. He dropped to one knee, gasping. What is this? He cried. The gate remembers everything, Lyra said. Especially pain. When the visions faded, Ryan stood. His body shook. His heart raced. You destroyed entire worlds. Not me, she said. Us. And now you want to do it again? She turned to him, her face calm, but sad. No. I want to stop it. Ryan was confused. You said you wanted to finish what your people started. I lied? So what's the truth? She stepped closer. This place is not just a prison. It's a failsafe. If the universe ever creates something too powerful, too broken, this gate wakes up. You mean you? No, she said. The other prisoners. I escaped. They didn't. But now the gate is waking them too. Ryan's voice dropped. And they'll want revenge. No, she whispered. They'll want to reshape the universe. They walked deeper into the gate. The walls moved, as if listening. They entered a hall with carvings, millions of them. Images of beings that looked like gods and demons. Some had wings, others had claws. All of them looked like Lyra. Ryan felt something strange, like the air itself was pulling at his soul. This place is alive, he said. It's not a place, she replied. It's a mind. Suddenly, the sphere in her hand pulsed. A voice echoed, low, deep, not male or female. One of us has returned. Ryan raised his weapon. What was that? Lyra didn't move. The gate knows I'm here. It's thinking. What happens now? It will test us. The hall split into two paths, one light, one dark. Lyra pointed to the dark. We go this way. Why not the light? The light shows you what you want. The dark shows you who you are. As they walked down the dark path, Ryan saw more visions, this time of himself. Not memories, possibilities. He saw himself wearing black armor, leading soldiers, ruling planets. He shook his head. This isn't real. Lyra said nothing. Why am I seeing this? Because you could become it. she said. You were chosen not because you're pure, but because you're close to the edge. Ryan stared at her. You wanted me to see this? She finally stopped walking. No, she said. I wanted to see what choice you'd make after. They reached a chamber in the center of the gate. Inside, a pillar rose from the floor, covered in energy, whispering in forgotten tongues. The pillar was the core. The lock. The heart of the prison. The sphere began to float. Ryan stepped forward. You can open it now, can't you? Lyra looked at him. Yes. But I won't. Ryan was shocked. What? If I open it, the others wake. The wars start again. Then why come here? She turned away. Because the gate needs someone else to choose. Someone who still believes in right and wrong. Me? She nodded. It has to be your hand. Ryan's voice cracked. Why me? Because you're not a god. You're human. And sometimes, that's enough. The pillar began to hum. Louder. Images flashed. What would happen if he opened it? Some showed peace. Some showed fire. What if I make the wrong choice? He asked. Lyra looked at him one last time. Then we lose everything. Breaking point. The pillar pulsed in the center of the gate, humming like a heart beating in another language. It wanted to open. It wanted to be touched. But it also warned, once you decide, there's no going back. Ryan stood there, frozen, his hand inches from the core, his breath unsteady. Behind him, Lyra watched in silence. She looked more tired than before. Her glow had faded. Her voice was quiet now, not like a goddess, like someone lost. I don't know what's right, Ryan whispered. No one does, she replied, not until the cost is real. Visions surrounded him. The pillar was showing him futures, thousands of them. In one, he saw peace. The gate opened. Lyra led a new generation. Galaxies healed, old systems rebuilt. In another, he saw war, fire across the stars, black ships, burning cities. Lyra in armor, her eyes empty. Which one is true, he asked. Lyra stepped forward. Both are possible. It depends on what you believe. But that was the problem. Ryan didn't know what he believed anymore. He had seen too much, too many lies, too many shades of truth. He had saved Lyra because he thought she was a victim, then learned she was a prisoner, then a god, then a weapon. Now, maybe a guardian, maybe a destroyer. How do you trust someone who has worn all masks? Ryan turned to her. Why me, Lyra? Why not someone stronger, smarter? Her answer was quiet. Because you feel everything, even when you hide it. And what if I choose wrong? Then, we face it together. He looked into her eyes and for the first time saw something real, not power, not mystery, guilt. She had lived longer than empires, seen more than time itself. But in this moment, she looked like someone who just wanted forgiveness. But then, the gate screamed, a sound that didn't come from the air, but from inside their minds. Ryan fell to his knees. The pillar turned black. What's happening? He shouted. Lyra's face went pale. Someone else is waking up. Across the platform, the space itself tore open, not like a door, like a wound. From it stepped a being, tall, dark, his body made of shifting metal and shadow, his face smooth, without eyes. His voice was not spoken, but felt. You were always the weak one, Lyra. Ryan stood up, weapon drawn. Who is that? Lyra's voice trembled. My brother. His name was Kaivar, and he had once ruled beside her. But when their people turned cruel, she tried to stop them. He didn't. He believed power was survival, that weakness was failure. He was one of the first locked away, and now somehow the gate had begun to release him. He walked toward them, slow, calm. You brought him here, Kaivar said, nodding at Ryan. A human, to make a god's decision. Because he still has hope, Lyra said. Kaivar tilted his head. Then watch me burn it out of him. He raised his hand. The walls of the gate began to bleed light, dark light. The platform cracked. The pillar glowed dangerously. Ryan fired. The shots vanished before touching Kavar's body. "Run," Lyra shouted. But Ryan didn't move. He looked at the pillar, then at Lyra, then at the shadow that was Kavar. He realized he had no weapon that could stop him, except one. His choice. Lyra ran to him. "Don't touch it," she screamed. Ryan turned to her. "If I don't, he will. He's stronger. If you open it now, he'll take control. But if I don't open it, he'll tear you apart." Lyra's eyes filled with something she had never shown before. Fear. "Don't do this. For me," she said. "Do it for you." The ground cracked again. Kavar stepped closer. "Make the choice, little soldier," he whispered. Ryan looked at the pillar. His mind raced. If he opened it, he might release more beings like Kavar. If he didn't, Lyra might. Tarzan, the gate would fall anyway. Then he asked himself, what do I believe? He remembered his first moment with her. Chained. Silent. Eyes that said too much. Then he remembered all the lies, but also all the moments she could have killed him, but didn't. Maybe that was the answer. He didn't know if Lyra was a hero, but he knew she chose not to be a monster, and that was enough. He placed his hand on the pillar. Light exploded. Kavar roared. The gate shook like a dying star. Lyra screamed his name, and in that moment, everything went white. Truth and sacrifice. White light burned across the platform. Time twisted. Sound vanished. For a moment, everything, Ryan, Lyra, the gate, even Kavar, was gone. Just silence. And then, a heartbeat. Ryan opened his eyes. He was standing in a place with no floor, no sky, just light all around him. He looked at his hands, they were glowing. He felt more than human, like he had become part of something bigger. "This is the center," a voice said. He turned. It was not Lyra. A being floated in the light. Not male or female, not old or young. It looked like every species and none at the same time. "Who are you?" Ryan asked. "I am the gate." "What is this place?" Ryan said, spinning slowly in the light. "This is the test," the voice said, "and you have reached the end." "Did I pass?" "You chose," the gate replied. "But your choice is not the end. It is the key." Images began to appear around him. Lyra, chained, freed, smiling, Kavar, leading armies, burning stars, Ryan standing between them. "What does all of this mean?" he asked. "This was never about freeing her," the voice said, "or stopping him. This was about you." Ryan frowned. "Me?" "Yes," the gate said. "A human, weak, mortal, full of doubt, and yet you made it here. I don't understand. The galaxy doesn't need more power. It needs more will, more choice. The old ones, Lyra, Kavar, they are echoes of a broken time. They forgot what it means to feel fear, to earn trust." The voice grew soft. "You still remember?" Suddenly, the light shifted. A shape appeared. Lyra, but not as she was before. She was inside a prison of light, floating, eyes closed. "What's happening to her?" Ryan asked. "She gave herself to protect you," the gate said. "When you touched the pillar, you passed the power through her. She took the hit. Now, she is fading." Ryan stepped forward. "Let her go. You can save her," the gate said, "but you must give up something first." The light dimmed. A dark corner formed. Inside it stood Kavar. He was broken. His body cracked. His shadow burning. He was not ready, the gate said. He chose domination. He failed the test. "And Lyra?" Ryan asked. "She chose sacrifice. And me? You must now choose purpose." Two paths formed before him. One led back, to his world, his people, his war. He could leave, forget everything, live his life as a man. The other, led to the core of the gate. If he walked that path, he would become part of, and not alive, not dead, a guardian, forever. Rion looked at Lyra, still floating, her light fading. He looked at his own hands, still glowing. He had fought so hard to survive, to find meaning, and now meaning stared him in the face. He stepped forward. "I don't want power," he said. "I don't want to rule." "Then why come here?" the gate asked. "Because someone needs to keep the next Kavar from rising. You will be alone." "She was," Ryan said. "Now it's my turn." He touched the core. Pain surged through. Him, not physical. Deeper. Like the universe was rewriting his soul. Lyra's prison shattered. She fell. Into light. Into peace. Ryan smiled. And then, he disappeared. Months later. The galaxy watched the gate close. The Alliance had tried to approach it again, but the path was gone. Sealed. Lost. On a small planet, Lyra walked through a quiet forest. Her powers were gone. Her immortality ended. But her soul finally felt clean. At night she looked up at the stars. One glowed brighter than the rest. She smiled. "Thank you, Ryan." The end.